Hi guys, it's Sandeep from Phone Arena. In today's video, we'll be taking a look at the unboxing of the Corsair K70 Lux mechanical keyboard. Now, I know that there's a few of you out there who actually have the common misconception that a mechanical keyboard is automatically a gaming keyboard. And while that may be the case in 90% of the mechanical keyboards that are available on the market right now, not every mechanical keyboard is actually directed towards gamers or meant for gaming mainly. So in this particular case, it is actually meant for gaming because it makes use of the Cherry MX Red switches. So switches are basically those activators that are present below the keycaps that actually detect each input. So there are three different types of Cherry MX switches available commonly, which are basically the Cherry MX Red, the brown, as well as the blue. Now the difference between the three is basically the kind of response and the feedback that you get from each of them. So in terms of the Cherry MX Red, you're actually getting much better response times and the feedback is not as much as you would get from the other two. Now in terms of the Cherry MX Blue, it offers really great feedback and is ideal for people who want to type a lot, but not really ideal for gamers because it actually slows down the response rate and you also have too much of a noise. So if you're gaming really hard, it could really annoy all the people around you. So that's another difference between the blue and the red. And then you have brown, which sits in between both of these and offers best of both worlds of sorts, but most likely people tend to go for either the blue or the red based on what they want. I personally would like to have the blue because of the feedback that you get when typing, and since I am someone who types a lot, it would really help. And I don't mind gaming on the blue either, but if you're a hardcore gamer, the red such as this is the correct one to go for. So the K70 Lux is available in different variants, one that has Cherry MX Red switches, the other with blue and brown, and these start at a price of around rupees 11,000, and all of them actually come with red backlighting. So don't get confused between the switch color as well as the backlighting color. There's also a specific model that's available with blue backlighting, which also is available in different switch in different switches, and finally you have the highest end model which has RGB lighting. So this is the K70 Lux, which has red lighting and Cherry MX Red switches. So let's go ahead and take a look at what's inside the box. So let's open the box and take a look at what's inside. So here you have the rest for your wrist. So this actually has a sort of support. It actually attaches at the bottom of your keyboard to give you some rest for your wrists when you're actually typing or using it for prolonged durations. Here you have the K70 Lux itself, and it comes with a really long cable, and this cable is very similar to the one that we found on the Corsair Strafe. Apart from that, you also get a bunch of different keycaps. These are actually mainly for gaming, so you can actually replace the keycaps on this and have a bit of a groove in order to actually identify which keys are which before you actually start looking at them. You have some documentation as well and a warranty guide. And that's about it for the contents itself. So now let's take a look at the highlights of the keyboard as well as the different features. So this here is the Corsair K70 Lux keyboard, and the main difference between the K70 as well as the K70 Lux is the fact that the Lux can actually be mapped to have different levels of light intensity. The backlighting can have different levels of intensity, and you can actually map it using the software that is available for download through Corsair's website. So this has a really nice design in terms of the build quality as well as the basic materials used. They use aluminum, which has a nice brushed effect to it, and straight off the bat I can tell that this actually feels more premium than the Strafe, even though the pricing might suggest otherwise. The keys seem to be well spaced. The travel is not too much but not too less that you would actually hit another key without you actually meaning to do so, but most of the keys seem pretty similar to the ones found on the Strafe itself in terms of the actual feel. Especially the space bar seems really similar to that, but other than that there are a few other differences as well. You can see that there's a window store over here. You can see there's a brightness level button over here which controls the backlighting. You can see that there are 3 LED indicators for caps lock, num lock, scroll lock, etc. You have a volume mute button, and you also have a really nice volume slider here. This is something that I find really useful, especially when you're using gaming or something like that. Rather than having to exit the game or pause the game in order to change the sound, you can just move it up and down, and that'll actually change the sound pretty fast. Apart from that, you have a bunch of multimedia keys for play, pause, stop, forward, backward, rewind, etc. You also have a USB port here, so you'll actually have to connect the port function. Also, you'll have a separate thing that allows pass-through USB charging. You have a bunch of stubs over here that actually allow you to adjust the height based on the height that you need or the angle that you need. And apart from that, it also has 4 different response modes, including one for BIOS. And lastly, you have the rest itself, which can actually be attached at the bottom and actually gives you some relief to your wrist when you're gaming for prolonged durations, for example. So this keyboard is actually really premium in terms of the design, and I actually quite prefer it from the first glance over the Strafe itself. I'm not really sure whether I like it in the long duration, but we will be doing a review on the same and letting you know of our impressions. That's it for the quick unboxing and first impressions, guys. If you like this video, do hit the like button and do subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. Thanks for watching.